Hello Year 11, I hope you're having a really good and well-deserved break. My name's Miss Hector and I'm the head of sixth form here at Ashton Park School. I want to give you a really warm welcome to our Taster Day today. We had planned to run this in person and we had lots of exciting activities and events planned for you to help you transition into the sixth form. Unfortunately, due to recent government advice and guidance, we've had to change it to a virtual event, but I hope you still find lots of really good and useful things to do, including a whole range of taster lessons which we've uploaded onto the website. So as part of this presentation, I'm going to run through lots of important things with you about sixth form, which will hope answer some of the questions that you might have. If there's anything at all that you can't find, I suggest you have a really good read of the sixth form handbook, which we've emailed out. And if you've still got questions, you're always welcome to contact the sixth form team and someone will get back to you to answer your queries. So on this slide here, you can see a list of things that I'm going to talk about over the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. What I would suggest now is for you to pause the video, grab a pen and paper so that you're able to take some notes if you need to. So we're one of the smaller sixth forms in Bristol, so I'm sure you'll get to know the sixth form team really well quite quickly. But I wanted to have a quick look with you as to who's who in the sixth form. So you've got Mr. Del Planter, who's going to be our new head teacher from September. You've got myself, Miss Tanya Thomas, she's a sixth form administrator and knows everything there is to know about sixth form. We've got our brilliant careers advisor, Kathy Jemmett, who you'll meet lots and lots of times in year 12, and she's giving your careers interviews. She gives really excellent advice on apprenticeships, and she also supports me with the university application process as well. So we've also got our fantastic tutor team. They're all really experienced and used to working with sixth form students. And if you have a look at the list, if you come from Ashton Park School, you might recognise some of those teachers. Just below there, we've got our associate tutors. So the main role of the associate tutors is to support the main tutors in their jobs. So they might support with wellbeing, they might support with writing personal statements for university applications. Sometimes they might cover if one of the tutors isn't in. And then at the very bottom of the list there, you'll see we're lucky enough to have 3 sixth form mentors. So the sixth form mentors really focus on sixth form wellbeing, making sure everyone's okay. So they normally work around tutor time and they work with specific students one-to-one, just to give people that little bit of extra help and support if they need it. So on this slide, you'll see an outline of the sixth form day, and it's exactly the same as the lower school. And this is the timetable that we used pre-COVID times, and we're hoping we're going to be able to return to this in September. So the only difference is that if you're a sixth former, you do have a little bit more flexibility in your timetable. So for example, you don't have to come into tutor period on a Wednesday, so you only have to come to tutor 4 times a week. And if you have no sessions, period 5, we do allow students to go home at lunchtime and sign out. So whilst the timetable is similar, there is going to be some more flexibility for you there. So this is an example of a typical sixth form timetable. So you'll notice that there's 4 tutor times there. So on Wednesdays, there isn't a sixth form tutor period. That's a time when tutors meet up to discuss teaching and learning in sixth form. Sometimes we discuss attendance or student issues. And you'll also notice that there are lots of white spaces, and these are free periods. Well, I say free periods, but they're not exactly that. So when you're in sixth form, you're expected to manage your time wisely, and we like to say an hour for an hour. So in those free periods, you'd be using that time to do some extra study. So some students might choose to complete some home learning, so there's less to do in the evenings. Some students will do wider reading, or they might complete some soft revision activities where they're rewriting notes, having a look through things and making sure they're really organised. You've also got some blocks there which are labelled supervised study. And this is a really important part of the sixth form timetable where you can go and do some study, so you can do some home learning or you can do some revision, and there'll also be a member of staff there to really support you with that as well. And those sessions you will need to register for. You'll notice on the Wednesday there at the very end of the day, so period 5 on a Wednesday, every single sixth former has enrichment as well. And that's when we like you to do something which isn't related to your programme of study, but something enriching, something you perhaps wouldn't normally do. We have sporty enrichment activities, we've got academic enrichment activities, and I'll come on to that in just a moment. So keeping students safe in the sixth form is an absolute priority for us, and all students at Ashton Sixth wear a lanyard with an identification badge at the bottom of it, and this is for 2 reasons. Firstly, we need to know who every single person is in the sixth form. As you are getting a little bit older, some of you could pass for newly qualified teachers or external guest speakers who are coming in to do an assembly. So we need to be able to know who every single person is at all times. And also other staff who don't normally work on the sixth form might not necessarily know that you are a sixth former, as you're all in your own clothes and you're not in a uniform. The second reason is that ID badge also acts as a key lock, which means that you'll be able to access all the different rooms and facilities around the sixth form, as well as let yourself in and out of the sixth form block as well. If you check your emails, there is some details about how to upload a photo for your ID badge, which we need in the next couple of weeks. So we're really proud of our broad academic curriculum at Ashton Sixth, and the vast majority of students will study the equivalent of 3 A-level subjects. Some students will study 4, but this is very much based on final GCSE results. And there are a number of students who start on 4 with a view to dropping down to 3 before the end of September. So these are normally students who are a little bit uncertain about exactly what course package they want to do, and they just want to make sure, and that's absolutely fine. There is also a small group who are doing an Access to Level 3 programme. So these students will study a Level 2 course plus English and Maths retake, and they'll normally be on a 3-year course package in the sixth form. All our Year 12 students will also have the opportunity to do something called the Extended Project Qualification, or the EPQ, which is equivalent to half an A-level. So this will be started at the end of Year 12, and they'll continue this through Year 13 as part of their enrichment option if they want to. All sixth formers will also complete 1 hour of enrichment every Wednesday afternoon, period 5, as part of their course programme. There's an extensive tutor programme full of PSHE, current affairs, and we also have an external speaker programme which supports both the tutor programme, the pastoral days, and also our assemblies as well. So there's lots and lots going on, and as I said, we're really, really proud of our curriculum that we can offer you at Ashton Sixth. So by law, if a student hasn't achieved a grade 4 at English or Maths, they're going to need to retake this GCSE qualification. So we do have a small number of students who need to retake either English or Maths, or both, for those on the Access to Level 3 programme, and that will appear on your timetable in September, and there'll be opportunities to retake that exam in November and also in June as well the following year. So at Ashton Sixth, we're not just about exam results. We also want to make sure you develop into a fully rounded person and make sure you've got opportunities to grow and develop outside the classroom as well. So we have a really good enrichment and extracurricular programme here. So on this slide here, you'll be able to see just some of the enrichment activities that we do as part of our extracurricular package. So we have a range of sporting activities, the EPQ, which I've already mentioned, the Gold Duke of Edinburgh, archery, which sometimes takes place on a Wednesday afternoon, a life skills programme, and pre-COVID times, lots of trips, including national and international trips, which we're just starting to plan again, ready for next year. So here is an example of a trip that we've recently run. So this is the sixth form annual beach trip, which was great fun. We went on this just last week, and there's some pictures there of the students having a really, really good time. The first trip we've been able to run in 18 months, which was really exciting. And we look forward to taking all of you on this in 2022. So we like to make sure you have lots of extracurricular enrichment opportunities, but your progress, your academic progress at Ashton Sixth is incredibly important to us as well. And there's lots of different ways that we support you to achieve the best that you can possibly achieve. So we have an academic mentoring system. You'll get at least 2 progression meetings a year with myself or your tutor to discuss your progress. We've got supervised study periods where there'll be members of staff who can really support you in your organisation and wider reading and revision skills. We monitor attendance rigorously to make sure you're attending your lessons to get the learning that you need to do the best you can. And we also have a really good system of wellbeing support as well to make sure you're in the headspace to do really well in your subjects too. So in addition to the academic support and the extracurricular opportunities, the other really important thing is to make sure you're prepared for post-18 opportunities. And there's lots of great support and advice that you'll get throughout year 12 and 13 about that, whether that's the university process, whether it's apprenticeships, helping support you with work experience placements, or volunteering. Large number of our students are also on university access programmes where they partake in university seminars and talks throughout year 12 and 13, and normally this results in a reduced offer for that university and sometimes some financial support as well. So some of the main programmes we're involved in are Access to Bristol, Bristol Scholars, programmes at Exeter, Bath and Cardiff as well. So when you start in September, one of the things we'll need you to do is sign the Ashton Sixth Learning Agreement. And this will actually be both you and your parents who sign this. And this is just to make sure that we're both really clear about the expectations of us towards you and you towards us. So for students, we expect excellent attendance of at least 95% and above, and that includes lessons, tutor periods, enrichment activities. We also expect you to conduct yourself excellently. You are ambassadors for the school. So in terms of your behaviour, that should be exemplary, which we'd expect of people your age. And then in return, you can expect excellent teaching. You can expect excellent support and guidance to make sure that you can do the very best that you can do before you leave us. So I'm sure you've all seen this already, but there is some Year 11 transition work we'd like you to do before you start in September. So if you haven't managed to get this work yet, you need to log on to the Ashton Sixth website, click on the student info tab, and then if you go to the bottom there, it says transition tasks 2021, and when you click on that, you'll see there's some work to do for every single subject, and your teachers will be expecting to collect this in during your first lesson in September. Obviously, if you're stuck on this work, I'd suggest you just do the best you can, or if you really need to, please contact the teachers who set the work, and you'll be able to find contact details for those in our course guide, which is also on the Ashton Sixth website. So this is the last slide. What I'd like to highlight as well is the sixth form bursary, which is financial support for students from families with around £30,000 or below. If you think that might apply to you, it's really important you apply to this so you can get the financial support you need while you're at sixth form. The best person to email is Tanya Thomas about this. She's sixth form administrator, and she will send you all the relevant forms. But there'll be plenty of opportunities to apply for this in September, but you can start filling out the forms beforehand if you wish. So you will find information about this in the student handbook, and it's also on the Ashton Sixth website as well. That brings me to the end of this presentation. I hope it's been useful and it's answered some questions that you might have. Please do engage in your taster lessons, which we've uploaded today. Have a look at the Year 11 transition tasks. It would be great if you can upload your identification photo as well. And remember to keep your eye out about information on sixth form enrolment that's going to happen on GCSE results day. Apart from that, have an absolutely great summer, and I will see you hopefully in person in September during our induction day. Bye.